everybody. Welcome to the StabCast.
And I am Mizzle.
I'm Dizzle, and we're here to talk about geniuses in horror this week. There's a lot of brilliant minds that bring the things that we love. By the way, I just saw the latest trailer for I Know What You Did Last Summer.
So did I.
Yeah, it looks really
When
cool.
did you see it?
Last night.
I saw it on Friday. I was so excited.
Yeah.
So I can't get Daniel in here all the way, but just know that we're both here.
I'm here, yeah.
So if you guys have any questions or anything, he's here.
I'm here.
It's just I'm really short, so it's really hard to get me on two cameras. But yeah, so what'd you think? What'd you think of it? I liked it.
The trailer looks really cool.
I don't like the whole Helen Shivers shit.
Yeah.
With her dad and whatnot. I think that is completely unnecessary, completely unneeded.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah, they wanted to add Sarah Michelle Gellar in it, but she's literally getting paid for being a picture, Daniel. Come on.
I agree with you.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And where's Ryan Phillippe's picture?
Yeah.
Come on.
No, I see what you're saying.
Hold on. We have a question.
What is it?
Go right ahead if it is a appropriate question.
Yeah, I'm not getting naked. Not with my sister. That's just weird. Oh.
Because some people will.
Yeah, I know there's weirdos out there.
Nope, I do not. We don't do that, guys. Sorry. We don't do guests while we're doing a live show. Hate us if you want.
Hate us if you ain't us. Today we're here to talk about geniuses in horror, and four in particular. There's four men, and we will be going on and doing more episodes like this. So if one of your favorite brilliant minds in horror isn't in it,
I said that we will answer questions, just not have anybody on the show.
Yeah.
That's it. Go ahead, Daniel.
Four geniuses in horror. There's way more than that, and we'll do more episodes talking about them later. And later on. But the four that we chose this time was Alfred Hitchcock, Stephan King, Kevin Williamson, and Jordan Peele, which are four very prolific, very trailblazing filmmakers, and just trailblazing. Well, not even because Stephan King's just a writer, but he's probably the greatest, most prolific horror writer of all time.
Yeah.
So Alfred Hitchcock pretty much made the fucking genre. Kevin Williamson is one of our favorite writers of all time. And Jordan Peele has become a fucking renegade over the years and somebody that just beats total ass.
Exactly. What were you saying?
That's all I was saying. I think we'll start with Alfred.
Okay.
We'll start with Big Hitchy.
Well, we'll start with Big Hitchcock.
Yes.
Especially since whenever we decide to do a show and it's on the movies on Peacock, this one over here is like the cock. Yeah,
the cock. You can't call him that though. Imagine if someone's like, "Hey, cock, how you doing?" He's one of the greatest.
He is the master of suspense, is what he's known for.
Yeah.
And what's really funny, you guys are going to find this hilarious because I found this astonishing. He has made over 50 different films.
Yes.
As far as horror goes, and other genres as well.
Yes.
And this man he's been nominated, but he has never won an Academy Award. And he never won an Oscar.
Well, when were the Oscars created?
He was around when the Oscars were created. It was mentioned. Like, that's the two things he didn't get.
Well, and that's the thing about it. That's the thing about being a trailblazer and being somebody like that is you're not always going to get your recognition at the time. Mm-hmm. And at the time, horror was thought of as a very, niche genre. It still kind of is. But you weren't going to get all the respect you get nowadays for being a horror visionary when, you had other, like, people respected, Charlie Chaplin and comedy and shit more like that, drama and great, and like Casablanca and stuff like that. They didn't give a fuck about. I mean, they did, but it was more closeted about it.
Yeah, I completely get that. I understand. His more famous movies, which I didn't realize that his actual very first success in film was not Psycho. I did not realize that. I thought it was Psycho.
You thought that was his first movie?
I thought it was his first success.
Okay.
His first success was actually called The Lodger Story of the London Fog. It came out a few years before Psycho. As you can tell by his reaction too, he's like, "What the hell is that?"
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
But other than that, his more famous movies, of course, is going to be Psycho, The Birds, which he was screwed up with The Birds. Oh my god, guys!
He screwed up with all his shit.
Guys, no. He would literally, because they use live birds.
Yeah.
And if he wasn't getting the reaction out of people that he wanted, he would literally shake up the damn bird and then throw them at people.
Yeah. Exactly.
Who does that?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
who
he
does that?
He fucking does.
I know, and he gets away with it too. That's a sad thing.
Yeah.
Well, it was the 60s. So, and then Rear Window, which I don't know if you ever saw that, but Secret Window is the remake of it.
Yes, I have seen that. And I like Vertigo a lot.
That is another one. And then Forest Frenzy, and then Dial M for Murder. Just because I know it's famous, so I put it on here.
That's a classic one. And he was known for some crazy shit. One of the big things that he did is he always storyboarded every shot, which is basically he edited the movies before he made them. Yeah. Which is he had have every
but
single shot in his head. Yeah, but like a lot of people, you know, and a lot of filmmakers and directors and stuff that we talk about in the editing room, it becomes a whole other movie. Whereas with him, it was already edited before he started shooting the fucking movie. He already had everything that he wanted perfect before he shot it. A lot of people start shooting and then they find the movie, you know, within that.
No, like he would go out and like make the movie first, kind of like me and you do, like write down his ideas and everything before he shoots a single shot.
Yeah, we're very Hitchcockian.
I wouldn't say that, but especially since he's the master of suspense, I wouldn't say that we're the master.
And he did have 5 Oscar nominations, but never won.
Yeah, that's what I said. He had many nominations.
I was just saying the number. He had 5, but he never won. Yeah. Which is crazy because he should have. At some point, I would say.
But I mean, it also took Leonardo DiCaprio to get mauled by a bear to get an Academy Award.
That was a good movie, though. I like The Revenant.
It was a very good movie, but like, he had to wait to be killed by a bear.
Yes.
To get any recognition. That's kind of sad. All right. That's a horror.
Yeah, I mean, The Revenant's kind of a horror movie. But I do... Hitchcock, you know, he created a genre pretty much. And yes, there was other horror things going on. And then around the time you had The Twilight Zone and others.
But he created the suspense genre.
Yeah. He did create suspense. And he also, he like invented, what's it called? A MacGuffin, which is hard for me to explain, but he created it.
Yeah.
And he like,
if you want to know what that is, Google it. Well, I know what it is, and you know what it is.
Yes, it's a plot device that drives the story, but may not be important itself. Yeah. Which is, you know, you think that, oh, this could be something, but it really isn't. Like a red herring is what we would call, like, for a killer.
Yeah, and also, a lot of people don't know this, but in Psycho, when the toilet is being flushed with the blood and stuff, and the shower drain with the blood and everything, that's actually Hershey's chocolate syrup.
Really?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Because it was a black and white movie.
Really?
Yes. So it looked just fine. It was Hershey's chocolate syrup mixed with the water. It looked like blood.
Practical was always the way to go.
I always love a good practical effect. I will always love practical effects more than I love CG. That's why I love Tom Savini so much. Oh, we got a thing. My stepdaddy. All right. You know what? Go away now.
Thank God you didn't fully read that. That's insane.
Freaking asshole.
People are trolls.
Guys, I'm so sorry about that.
But what out of all of his movies, what do you think was his favorite?
Well, I know what his favorite was. His favorite that he did was Vertigo.
Oh, that's
personally.
Okay.
That's what I've heard.
I always heard that he enjoyed Shadow of a Doubt.
Okay.
which is it explores like this evil in a small town,
Mhm.
which I think is an interesting movie in its own right. I've seen it, and
Okay.
it's cool. And he personally
Well,
said,
all of his movies are awesome. I would
Yeah.
recommend anybody to watch a Hitchcock film, even if it's not a horror film. Like, he did a lot of films from even other genres and whatnot, and he's an amazing filmmaker.
But
He really is.
I found that fascinating that out of a Vertigo and Psycho and all these huge fucking movies that become like kind of franchise and IPs, especially Psycho, and things that, you know, have been adapted over years, that his favorite is something that's kind of underrated. You know, it doesn't get talked. Shadow of a Doubt does not get brought up in his top 5 very much. I didn't see it in your top 5 list. A lot of people don't think of that as one of his favorite movies. So the fact that he fucks with it so hard, it's kind of fascinating to me. But there's obviously Psycho probably has the biggest impact in Norman Bates and that story and that character and the relationship with the mother and all that.
Thank you. We just gotta follow.
Yes, thank you. And I do, and I think that is probably his biggest, that he's most known for. I mean, you got Birds fans for sure, but that one, Psycho.
Mostly people, when they hear of his name, they think of Psycho or The Birds.
Yeah.
Normally.
Or just think of horror, which is cool. That's cool. That's how you know you made an impact, when they think of Hitchcock. Oh, the horror guy.
Yeah.
And that's basically, and that's what's cool about the 4 people on our list, is all 4 of them kind of have that to an extent.
And he was lucky too. He died at 80 years old.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's lucky, especially these days.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you heard, but Cole from Charmed, he kicked the bucket yesterday.
Oh, dude, I was
very sad. I cried.
I figured you would cry.
I cried. I was right outside the pizza shop. Kevin's like, oh no, and my phone went off, and I was like,
yeah.
No. And Kevin's like, Mindy, pull it together.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, not Cole. Not Cole. They took Tony from me, and now they took Cole. And he's like, Mindy, the only things that are listed here are Nip Tuck and Jurassic Park.
That's funny as fuck.
And I was like, he was in Charmed for 4 years.
I loved him in Charmed too, but I knew that's how he was. It was the guy from Nip Tuck, and also Fantastic Four, because he was Dr. Doom.
Yes, he was Dr. Doom. I forgot he was Dr. Doom.
R.I.P. to that man, because he was fucking awesome. Legendary career, but also R.I.P. Also, of all reports, a great man too.
Yeah.
Who had a hard-fought battle with cancer. So.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, I guess unfortunately he really went through it with cancer.
Yeah.
Like, he kept on getting it. Like, he kept on getting remission, and then he kept on getting it back. And
yeah.
That's horrible.
It is
for
horrible.
Somebody, because when you go into remission, you think, oh, I'm in the clear.
Yeah.
And then you find out 6 months later, no, you're not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just a little sad, but we had to get that out there.
Yeah, R.I.P. But yeah, Alfred Hitchcock, one of one, probably one of the greatest horror filmmakers of all time, and the benchmark.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that man is definitely the benchmark.
Yeah.
Now, Stephan King, who has written, and Alfred listen, I have felt the effects of all these guys as geniuses and appreciated their work. Hitchcock is a bit before our time, obviously, and that's what my fucking grandfather's dad was watching. But it was good shit, and it is legendary stuff.
I've always watched stuff that was before my time. But
yes, me too.
Because I believe that the originals sometimes are a little bit better, except 13 Ghosts. If you ever watch 13 Ghosts from 1943, the movie with Monk is definitely better.
I think out of all 4 guys, out of all 4 dudes, that this next guy, Stephan King. And Kevin Williamson is up there, but I'm sorry, he just hasn't done as much as Stephan King. Stephan King has probably had the most impact on me as like a young person that would want to be a writer.
That actually is true, though. Like, this one would like sit through like the 7-hour short series, like fucking Rose Red and
that was
Animal
awesome.
Hospital, and
yes,
and I was okay with Rose Red. Animal Hospital was pushing it. And, like, I also watched The Stand, too. But that was, like, an 80s movie. But he was, like, all over it. And it's like, you're not supposed to like this. Like, this is weird. Like, this is weird, trippy horror. This isn't supposed to something you're supposed to get. Like, Storm of the Centuries, like,
I liked it.
okay, all right. Mom's like blaming me. I'm like, this is not my fault.
And the man that's responsible for The Shining, I think, will always be a fucking genius in my book. I mean, all of his stories are fucking awesome. And he made so many big ones that
He
got
hates The Shining.
I know, but the adaptations, not only the adaptations, but the works themselves, and the fact that they've been like when Hollywood or whoever is like, oh my God, we're out of ideas. Let's go to a Stephen King book for a new horror movie.
Yeah.
That happens all the fucking time.
Well, he actually battled substance abuse for a lot of years. And he actually doesn't even remember writing Cujo because he was so high.
That's hilarious.
On drugs, cocaine, drinking. Those were his vices. And also another fun fact is his wife, Tabitha, famously saved his very first novel, which was Carrie,
Yes.
from the trash by encouraging him to keep on working on it.
That's crazy.
Because he didn't like it. Fun fact number 3, Pet Cemetery's story actually came from a combination of a busy road that he grew up on and a makeshift pet cemetery while he was walking one day in the woods.
Holy shit.
He also suffers from something that is called tricycatophobia, which is fear of the number 13. So if you do read his books, you will see that the number 13 is normally not there. He skips it.
That's crazy.
And then he also, this is really nuts. This is nuts. This is something we got to tell Doug. He collaborated with John Mellencamp
On a musical.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And then he, after he was hit, this is really funny. He got hit by a van, guys, and that's not funny. That's not the funny part. But he knew that eBay was going to be going insane trying to buy this damn van that he got hit by. Yeah. So he actually went out and bought the van himself. So no one else could buy it.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah. Like that was great. And he's a Red Sox fan. That's all I got. Well, I got his movies here, but that's all I got.
Now, as a writer, he writes 2,000 words a day, and he makes sure to write every day, even on his birthday and holidays. He makes sure, and he usually pushes for 2,000 words a day, which I find so fast. As a guy who's like, oh, I want to write. I got all these ideas, and then I sit down and I'm like, that's very impressive.
Like it comes naturally to him, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it even comes naturally to his son, the guy who wrote Black Phone and the Black Phone 2. That's actually Stephen King's kid.
And what?
That's his son.
What kind of music do you think he has on while he's writing? And he usually writes in the morning. And what do you think he has on while he's writing?
I know this, but I can't remember it now. I want to say classical, but I think I'm wrong.
You are.
What is it?
AC/DC and loud rock and roll.
Yes. You know what, though? That makes so much sense, though, because of the kind of guy that he is. So that makes sense.
And he avoids plotting out stories in advance, which is very fascinating, where he just kind of hits the page and fucking goes as he goes. Instead of putting
that's the opposite of Hitchcock.
Yeah, it's opposite of a lot of people. And a lot of people would say that's kind of anti-intuitive, but it works for him. And
whatever works.
I mean, and he makes cohesive fucking stories, you know. It's not like his shit's all over the place. So it seems to be a good process. He wrote The Running Man in 10 days. I got that fact for you, too. Who the hell is that? Oh, come on.
Guys, seriously, we're going to stop the show if you guys don't stop.
We're never going to stop the show, but you know what she needs. Quit being a troll.
No, like, seriously, I'm done as far as TikTok goes. You guys keep going. I'm literally going to stop it.
Over 65 novels published, 200 short stories.
Yep.
Like I said, when you were dealing with that, he wrote Running Man in 10 days.
Yes, he did.
Which is fucking awesome.
Yes, he did.
During the 80s, he was doing 2 or 3 books a year, pretty much. One of the
his homework.
One of the more productive guys of all time. When it comes to like just getting shit out there and the amount, whether you like you got fucking Gerald's Game or fucking Rose Red or The Shining, or there's just so many works of it. What no matter what you want to get into, he's got it. Yeah. Like Cujo, like you said about that's something completely different about a fucking dog eating people
and he didn't even know he wrote it.
Yeah, which is that makes sense that's the story that he was fucked up.
Like it was done and like he didn't even know. He's like, oh, I wrote a book. I wrote another book. Awesome.
Yes.
But
famously does not like The Shining, by the way, the movie.
No, he does not like The Shining, the movie, and he actually isn't really a fan of the short story that he wrote that became a novel and a movie, Thinner.
Yeah.
He doesn't really like the story around it, which I don't really get it. I think that's kind of his thing, but I mean, I think it's more because it's witchcraft.
And I have listened to an audiobook version of The Shining, and I can see why he thinks that John Carpenter's version is cold and misses the what?
Stanley Kubrick, honey.
Oh yeah, whatever. But Stanley Kubrick, the emotional. I didn't just shoot your puppy, okay? Everything's okay. But he
shot a lot of people's puppies, no, Daniel.
They're okay. But there's a lot of fucking filmmakers we're talking about. Don't make me start breaking shit. But he what was the original point? Now you got me all pissed off.
Shit.
Fucking.
You need a second?
But no, he didn't like The Shining. I can see why he would think that the movie was cold. And I could see why he think that it missed the emotional heart because of that. And because when you read the book or listen to the book, however you're going to fucking take in the book, there is a bit more of a heartbeat to it than there is in the movie. Yeah. And I can see why he doesn't like it.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
But yeah, he is a genius who has written so many classic works of art that you have to go check out if you haven't.
Yeah, and also what's really funny, because he, like we were just saying, he doesn't really like people's film adaptations normally. I don't know why he likes it, but for some reason, he likes Netflix writers. He really does. He likes Gerald's Game. He likes 1922, and he likes what's the other one they did? The Tall Grass.
Yeah.
And the Tall Grass.
That's a good one.
Yeah, like he liked all three of them like very well. He really did. So, like, he respects all three of them. So, that's, honestly, it's some pretty big digs for Netflix, because normally they don't get that kind of shit.
Yes. What do you think's his best work?
Who? Stephen King. See, people are going to get mad at me on this one. Just because I want to finish. I want to switch it though. I would have to say my favorite of all time has always been Christine.
Yes.
But the car.
Okay. That's
because I just think that's always been my favorite one since I was a kid. And then right after that is Salem's Lot. But I think that was John Carpenter, not Stephen King. So, yeah, we're going with that.
All right. Kevin Williamson.
Mr. Williamson.
Our third genius we'll be talking about today, and one of my favorite writers of all time. It's weird talking about horror geniuses and talking about the guy that wrote Dawson Creek and Vampire Diaries.
Hey, Vampire Diaries is a good show, okay? There's a lot of violence, all right? There's at least 5 or 6 different hearts ripped out every episode. Dial it back.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you like it. And that was funny that his career was kind of on the downswing, and he came back with Vampire Diaries. That brought him back.
It did.
Which is cool.
Well, that and Scream 4. They were on the same time.
That's true. Famously wrote Scream in 3 days, which is so fucking cool.
Yeah, and it was actually called Scary Movie, not Scream.
Yes, and there's a lot to that script, and a lot of that is what made, the film. So the fact that he came up with that brilliant horror story in 3 days is pretty impressive.
But it went around like directors for like a year.
Yeah, it got shot. It's not like it was right away.
It got shot down. They pay so.
Yeah.
God, even Wes Craven shot it down.
Yeah, he
like
tried
at least
to a
3
few
or
times.
4 times.
Once Drew Barrymore
and then
wanted
Drew Barrymore wanted it, and Wes Craven's like, "Wait, Drew Barrymore?"
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, I don't want to be in the whole movie." He's like, "All right, I'm out again. Fuck you."
Yeah, and then she's like, "No, wait, I have an amazing idea," and then he like ended up thinking it was amazing, and yeah, but we almost lost both of them.
Yes. And Williamson always wanted to be a director, and writing Scream kind of screwed him over because he got put in that box of only being a horror screenwriter.
He wanted to be, in his 20s, he wanted to be an actor and moved to New York City. And then he wanted to be a screenplay writer.
Yeah, but he wanted to be a director, and he never got to be a director because he wrote Scream. It was such a success, and then they put him
once he started writing,
box.
yes, he did want to become a director.
Yeah, and that never worked out for him.
No.
Which sucks.
That's why he does like Vampire Diaries so much, because they did let him direct an episode or 2.
Yes.
So, I mean, but he also wrote the Faculty and the Following, and he also wrote the most recent series that he is also directing, as well as Scream 7, is The Waterfront, which I've heard is pretty good.
Yes, I have heard good things.
I've heard good things about it. So I will have to say he actually has a ABFA in theater arts, which is very good, and from the East Carolina University.
So there you fucking go.
There you go.
He wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer,
Yes,
which, like we said, the remake's coming out soon.
Yep.
Not written by him.
Yep.
But that written before Scream, by the way, which is fascinating because Scream got made first.
Yeah. Well, it's because of the timeline of who got picked up first.
He famously walked out of Scream 3. Told him to go eat a fat cock.
Well, they were putting way too many things on him because of the Columbine killings. So they were putting way too many like restrictions on him. So even Craven wanted to be out.
Yeah.
But he didn't have that luxury.
Yes.
But Craven was like, you know what? Take your but Williamson was like, you know what? Take your money. Take your stuff. Give me my script because I'm going to write it. I'm going to come out with it at some point. At some point, we will get a version of Scream 3. That's not Scream 3, but it should have been. That's probably what Sick was, honestly. We
Sick
forgot
was
about
such a
Sick.
good movie, too.
Sick was a very good movie. If you guys have never seen the movie Sick, it's on Peacock. I actually believe we've done a vocal episode about it.
Yes.
But it's very, very, very Williamsy.
It's a good pandemic horror movie that's on the nose, but not too much in an annoying way. It's good.
And it's definitely, you can definitely tell that Williamson was at the helm with that.
And he's a guy who looked up to John Carpenter and those type of filmmakers.
Yeah.
And maybe Stanley Kubrick too.
Yeah.
But he definitely looked up to John Carpenter. And you can tell. And it really comes across in his writing. But because he, as a writer, I will say he does have good world building. I'm not taking that away from him. But obviously, I think his strongest suit would be his dialogue.
Oh, God, yeah.
I think, and as a man, and by the way, a man who is homosexual and who, you know, in the 90s and the 2000s, you know, it's just not, there's still fucking weird shit about that shit in Hollywood and not getting accepted.
That's why he's so private.
But
honestly,
nobody,
that's why he's so private.
You can say that experience may help him in his writing or whatever, but nobody can write teenagers like him. Nobody can write young adults,
a teenage
teenagers.
Sex scene like he can.
Sorry, I'm trying not to be weird about it.
Vampire Diaries lovers know this.
Yes.
Nobody can write a
young adult though.
Sleazy little teenager, young adult thing.
But just the way they talk to each other is what I
Yeah.
mean too. The way they conversate, nobody hits it like he hits it. That's how they really talk.
Did they find her liver in the mailbox? Because I found out that they found their liver in the mailbox next to her spleen and her pancreas.
Exactly. His scripts have such nuanced dialogue. They're funny. It's intelligent. It's clever. But it also does. It uses
and like
the
30
lingo
years
and the
later,
slang.
I can still quote it. That's the thing. That's
Yeah.
the sad thing is I can still do it.
But that's how people were talking in the 90s. And Sick felt like how people talk nowadays.
Mhm.
The dialogue, because you have a lot of old fucking white 40-year-old screenwriters, a lot of dialogue in these movies comes across as an old 40-year-old white dude that doesn't talk to many people and doesn't have many conversations. And that's how the dialogue sounds.
But no, he's 60 and he like sounds like a 16-year-old.
Yes, and he does a great job of making it seem like two young people actually having a conversation. And I think that skill isn't respected enough for how good he is at it. Because I think that's his best attribute.
That really is probably his best thing. I am very excited to see him direct.
Yes.
I am very excited. I mean, I probably could watch The Waterfront and be done with it whatnot, but I really want to see him direct Scream 7 first.
And that's the thing. He's finally getting his big shot, and it's with Scream 7.
Exactly. I mean, technically, it was with The Waterfront first.
Yeah, that's true.
But the fact that he's getting his comeuppance, that's why I will not watch Waterfront until I watch Scream 7, because I want that to be my very first debut of him directing.
Yes.
Just because I feel like having watched that movie for over 30 years now, for almost 30 years now, he deserves this. I mean, it's the 30th anniversary of the movie. He deserves this.
He does. And that's the franchise. I like that him and Nev Campbell get to end that on their terms, how they want to end it. And if that's, and the fact that Hollywood has let them do that is cool to me.
Yep, they're both writing it. He's directing it. She produced.
So I can't be mad at that, and I'm cool with that. All right, let's move on to Jordan Peele. Obviously, our favorite Kevin Williamson script is probably either Scream 1 or Scream 2.
No, might not be Eminem.
Or at least I would think. All right. Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele. I didn't really like Jordan Peele that much. So, go ahead, Dan.
You don't like him that much, but I literally saw Us with you in the theaters, saw you raving about it.
No, I loved Us.
You loved Get Out.
I loved Us. I loved Get Out. I didn't like anything else.
He's got one other fucking movie. What is
Nope.
it? The Alien one. Yeah, Nope.
He has another one too, doesn't he? I thought he has like 4 or 5. He has Candyman.
No,
he ruins Candyman.
He produced that. He didn't write or direct any of it.
He ruined it.
You're an idiot. But he started out.
Somebody Saul really liked Nope better than Us. Well, thank you for your opinion.
So there you go, man. But he is one of those guys, by the way, and this is a guy who came up in comedy. He started on Mad TV. Sharon used to watch that with him on it, and he started with Keegan, Michael Key, and they did some stuff on Mad TV. They got known as Sketch, but that Mad TV was SNL's bitch, and people that were on Mad TV really didn't become famous until way later. So it wasn't like you leave SNL and you get movies like those guys. You left Mad TV.
But Key and Peele they were great.
Yes, and then they got their own sketch show on Comedy Central, which I fucking grew up on in middle school and shit, and a lot of people loved it. We would all my friends would hang out and watch that, and it was such a fun show and a great sketch show, and he was really
so racist and so wrong, but so funny.
And his writing was so good during that, and he always had his chops as a sketch comedy writer, but he always had something else in him. And then he gets his first filmmaking opportunity with Get Out, and he knocks it out of the fucking park. Mm-hmm. And it becomes this generational box office hit, and he becomes this new fucking voice in horror. And then he follows it up with Us, which is another amazing movie. Yeah. Whether you like Nope or not, it also made a shit ton of money.
Nope better than Us. So.
True. But it made a shit ton of money too, and this was also right after pandemic, so movies weren't making that much money, and that made money.
And also, he did the Twilight Zone, right? Didn't he do?
I think he hosted something for it. Yeah,
he did the remake of the Twilight Zone. I didn't get that many episodes, I believe.
No,
but I do know that he did do it.
Yeah.
what is your guys' favorite horror movies? That is a very loaded question. Daniel.
I know what you did last summer. I'm calling. I know what you did. Well, Scream 2 is the greatest horror movie of all time. Don't me. It's the truth.
Of all time?
Yeah.
Of all time. You're going to put that over Vertigo? Really?
Yeah. Oh, my God. We talked about Alfred Hitchcock, and now you're all Vertigo-y.
The Thing is the greatest by far, is what he thinks. I'm not into sci-fi horror. I'm more of a slasher gal. So my favorite has always been Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that. He would probably agree that The Thing is a great movie.
It is a great movie. It's not one of the best, but it's great. Scream 2, Dawn of the Dead, Friday the 13th, Part 4.
Here he goes. Here he goes. You got him started.
Those are the best movies.
Oh, do we like Jeepers Creepers? We do actually.
100%.
And we actually have a video, 3 videos on here and on YouTube of all of the Jeepers Creepers. So you can go check that out.
Love the first one. Really love the second one. Hate everything else.
The third one was done by Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
And the fourth one was a requel that I don't even think we reviewed it. I think we went to the movies to see it, but we didn't really care.
Yeah, I don't know. His style, Jordan Peele, like we said, Williamson's big on dialogue. I think the dialogue in Jordan Peele's shit's good too, but he's very much a world builder, I would think. Mm-hmm. And he's very much of the tone, the setting around what's going on, the ambience.
More of an atmospheric director.
Yes. And there's metaphor on metaphor, and there's a lot of themes to it, and it's a layered. And a lot of people never started using the word elevated horror till he started making fucking movies. He made that a thing.
I know, like in Scream 5, where they're like, elevated horror, Jordan Peele fucking rules. And it's like,
and James
seriously?
Wan.
The Babadook was elevated horror. Thank you.
And James Wan just benefited because they're like, oh, The Conjuring's elevated horror too. He's like, fuck yeah, I get to be in it too. Yeah, I mean, they started calling it elevated horror based on Jordan Peele's movies because it made you think. It wasn't like, oh, I'm fucking hanging out on a Friday night eating popcorn. I don't have to pay attention to this. I'm making out with my girlfriend. Oh, this guy just got killed. Fuck him. And you watch his movies and they make you feel something. And there's a lot to them. There's something to like, you can watch them a couple times, like, oh, I missed that. Yeah. That is a cool thing that he brought to the horror genre.
And that's what this new generation is starting to come up on. Because like in Scream 5, that actually was what almost took Tara's life.
Yes.
It's because she couldn't answer questions on stab or slasher movies or whatnot. And she's even begging the guy. She's like, look, ask me anything about Get Out. Ask me about Us. Ask me about Babadook. It follows The Witch. And the guy's laughing at her, and he's like, you live in Woodsboro.
You fucking dick.
And she's like, I know, but I don't like those.
That's funny.
And it's like, poor kid. If only she would actually embrace her culture.
Yeah, they should have called you.
If you're in Woodsboro, you should know your culture.
Yeah.
If you were living in a city or a town where someone can easily kill you because you pissed them off, you watch the movie.
I love how that's so many movie backdrops nowadays. Like, oh, we live in a town where somebody died. Isn't it fun? It's like, oh, and then they always like talk about
it. Has become a really big trope.
Yeah, they do it all the time.
Unfortunately, it really has. It's become a terrible trope. I don't like it, but I fall for it.
Yeah, I mean it's fun. Jordan Peele, to me, one of the best modern directors, has made some really good movies. And he's one that it's kind of, you don't get it with filmmakers a lot. I think another one would be, and it's not horror, but James Cameron, to where...
Twin Peaks heavy influence. Yeah, but we're talking more about horror stuff.
Well, no, but it is horror.
But yeah, Twin Peaks is horror, but
and Twin Peaks does... Jordan Peele does have that vibe.
Yes, Jordan Peele does have that vibe. Absolutely. It's not the director that we're talking about right now.
Yeah, but he does have that Twin Peaks influence.
Absolutely.
And I do, because it's everything's like, oh, what the fuck's going on? It's oddball shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he is one of those that it's a spectacle. Next time he makes a movie, it's going to be a big fucking deal. It's going to make $500 million, and everyone's going to go see it.
Yeah,
and
then everyone's going to complain about how good it was, but how shiny it was and whatnot. Because the one thing I don't like about him is that he likes CGI too much. That's the only thing I don't like about him. Is he likes CGI a little bit too much.
Okay. He doesn't really do monsters or nothing, though.
Nope, it's very CGI.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, when you talk about a fucking alien invasion, that's going to happen. But
Signs, motherfucker.
That movie
Signs.
sucked, too. That's a bad movie. You can't quote a shitty movie and be like, oh, that's when it was done right.
You know what? He is known as Shamalama Ding Dong for a reason.
Yeah. That's known as the movie when he started slipping. And you're like, Signs.
Actually, no, it was The Village. Thank you.
Yeah, The Village was when people were like, oh my fucking God. We are sick of this.
And of course, my fiance loves Lady in the Water. That's his favorite movie. And it's like, oh, of course that would be your favorite movie.
I like Lady Show.
We're cracking up, Saul. Yeah, we're funny.
Yes, we have a good time. But I think we had good discussion about these four geniuses. We will be back with the John Carpenters of the world and some other really great minds.
And the Wes Cravens.
I asked my buddy, I'm like, who do you think we're talking about for this episode? He brought John Carpenter, Wes Craven. I'm like, no. He's like, who the fuck are you talking about? Then?
I thought that's what we were doing. I had things written down for John Carpenter, Wes Craven, Kane Hodder. Because I was thinking that he was going to do his shit. And he's like, no. And we're doing this, and this. And it's like,
well, these four guys,
completely unprepared.
These four guys, I think, really do mean a lot to horror, and I think this was a good start. And if we're going to talk with geniuses, these are four good guys to start with. So I'm glad we did.
Yeah.
But
except Tony Todd should be on here, but he's not a director.
We'll do him next time. He is also a great mind too, though. We'll see everybody next time on the StabCast. We won't be here next week. Mindy's going to be doing a mini review, so the YouTube and the TikTok will be satisfied, but you won't be seeing this big body. And then we'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll announce what we're doing next week.
Yep.
All right. We'll see everybody next time.
All right, guys. And as always, hooty hoo.
Hooty hoo. Goodbye.
Goodbye.